Alright, so hello guys. So in this video, I want to look at this problem that I went ahead and did earlier, and it is a lengthy problem, so I just want to put that out there. So we have basically we want to use this information to find two of these things, and actually I'm gonna just erase this part. I forgot to erase it. So it says let the integral from -2 to 2.5 of f of x dx equal to the integral from -2 to -0.5 of f of x dx equals 7, and the integral from 1 to 2.5 of f of x dx equal 8. And the first part of this tells us to find the integral from -0.5 to 1 of f of x dx. Now, here, we want to go ahead and do the following. So let me look at my notes here because I did this problem earlier and it was very difficult. It took some thinking on my end. So here's what we know, and I'm just gonna, my first part here, I'm gonna just put these as two different parts. Part A says to find the integral from -0.5 to 1. So the integral from -0.5 to 1 of f of x, and rewrite it, dx. So we know the following. So I'll put this as part A, and we know the following is true. So I'm gonna just write down some information here. The integral from, let me think. So the integral from -2 to 2.5 of f of x dx is equal to 2. And then I know also that, so, one second, guys. Okay, sorry about that, guys. So, like I said, the integral from -2 to 2.5 of f of x dx is equal to 2. We also know the integral from -2 to -0.5 of f of x dx equals 7. And then we also know that the integral from 1 to 2.5 of f of x dx is equal to 8. Now, we want to know, so obviously, like I said, we want to look at this first part, which is the integral from -1, or from -0.5 to 1 of f of x dx. And to do that, I need to split this up, okay, guys? So let's see. I know that, so I know the following. The integral, so I can use these two things to do this one. So I know the following is true. So if I use these two things, I'm going to say the following. The integral from -0.5 to 1 of f of x dx, and actually, hold on, guys, I'm sorry. Okay, guys, so let me go ahead and let's try to think about this one. So this is the part A is what we're trying to look for, but we have to manipulate these so that we can be able to find the what we're looking for here. Now, if you look very carefully, so we know that the integral from -2 to 2.5 of f of x dx is really going to be equal to the integral from -2 to -0.5 of f of x dx, and then plus the integral from negative 0.5 to 1 of f of x dx, and then plus the integral from 1 to 2.5 of f of x dx. So it is not as complicated as it may seem. You just have to really, really think about it. And so it does take some thinking, but once you figure this out, we can just go ahead and do some plugging in. This one is going to be the following. So it is going to go like this. So we know that for the integral of from negative 2 to 2.5 of f of x dx, well, we know that that's 2. So I know that this stuff here is going to go in for this. Okay. And then, like I said, from negative 2 to negative 0.5, we know that we have this going on. And then the negative 0.5 to 1, that's exactly what we're looking for. So I'm just going to highlight that in in yellow. Hold on, guys. In yellow. So I'm going to highlight this in yellow. That's what we're looking for, right? So we're going to highlight this part in yellow. So that is the one in yellow is the one we're looking for. And then plus the integral from 0.1 to 2.5 of f of x dx. I forgot to put the dx in there, which is, you know, the orange part. So once you figure this stuff out, guys, it is really not as complicated as it you know, as we thought. You just have to understand how to go in order. Okay, so we're now just going to plug in some values here. So we know that this one is 2, so the pink one is going to be 2, and then this is going to equal, and the integral from negative 2 to negative 0.5 of f of x dx is really going to be 7. So it's equal to 7, and then plus, and then the integral from negative 0.5 to 1 is what we're looking for. So we're just going to leave that as it is. And then plus, and then the integral from 1 to 2.5 of f of x dx is 8. So we're just going to put a plus 8 there. So this first part is really not as difficult. Oops. This first part is really not as difficult. The hard part is knowing, well, the hard part is really the second part of this. Now, so like I said, just highlighting here, we have this, and we have this, and then we have the yellow part, which, like I said, we're looking for, right? So just doing some, like, combining, like, terms, we have 2 equals 7 plus 8 plus the integral from negative 0.5 to 1 of f of x dx. And so if we subtract, or I'm sorry, if we add 7 and 8, we get 2 is equal to 15 plus the integral from negative 0.5 to 1 of f of x dx. And then that's gonna, if we subtract 15 on both sides, we're gonna get that negative 13 is equal to the integral from negative 0.5 to 1 of f of x dx. And this is what we get for the first part, guys. Now the second part is a little bit harder. So if we look at the second part, we want to find this. So this is where the hard part comes in. So the harder problem is actually the second problem. We want the integral from 1 to negative 0.5 of 2f of x minus 7. I think that's what it was. Yes, and then dx, right? So, you always want to make sure to split this up, okay? So, we're gonna go ahead and do that. So, and let me just kind of... And I know, guys, I'm doing this step by step. So one of the things that... So actually, the way I'm gonna do this is, I'm gonna say that this is equal to 2. So the integral of 2 times... And actually, the integral from 1 to negative 0.5... And let me do it this way. Of f of x of 2 f of x dx, and then minus, and it's going to be the integral from 1 to 2 to negative 0.5 of 7 dx. Should be something like this. Now, this is where you want to be careful, guys. So the very first thing that we see on the left is we want to take the constant out, right? It goes with that rule that anytime you have a constant in front of your function, you take it out. So 2 integral from 1 to negative 0.5 of f of x dx, and then obviously minus integral from 1 to negative 0.5 of 7 dx. Now, here, we're going to go ahead and use the following rule. And this is where we have to really understand how this works, because if you think about it, usually we go from smallest to biggest. So usually, when we're given the integral from a to b of f of x dx, so usually in the integral from a to b of f of x dx, a is less than b. However, that is not what's going on here. So, however, if a is greater than, if b is greater, I'm sorry, if b is less than a, then the following is true. So, the integral from a to b, or I'm sorry, the integral from b to a, because b is less than a, is going to actually, of f of x dx, sorry, of f of x dx, is going to actually be negative the integral from a to b of f of x dx. So we want to understand that, guys. It's very important, because obviously on here, the 1 is greater than negative 0.5, so we have to use this rule. Is equal to negative the integral from a to b of f of x dx. So therefore, we're going to have the following. Let's see here. So it is going to be the integral from, so 2 times the integral from 1 to negative 0.5 of f of x dx, and then minus the integral from 1 to negative 0.5 of 7 dx. So 1 to negative 0.5 of 7 dx will actually become 2 times the quantity negative the integral from negative 0.5 to 1 of f of x dx minus, and it's going to be negative the integral from negative 0.5 to 1 of 7 dx. So it's a lot of like brackets and stuff. And let me actually do it this way. Do it like this. Okay. Now we just have to know exactly what was the integral from negative 0.5 to 1. So remember that the integral from negative 0.5 to 1 of f of x dx was negative 13. So this is negative 13, right? Because, like I said, if you look at the very beginning, we had said that the integral, it was from here, right? So we're using that, you know, for this. And it is, you know, this whole thing is multiplied by 2. And then we're basically gonna do, and actually, guys, I'm sorry, hold on. Negative 0.5 to 1. It's going to be negative of negative 13. So yeah, you have to be careful because there was a negative here. So we have to be careful with that. And then minus, and now in reality, this is going to be plus because the negative cancel out. And so the negatives cancel out, and so we're going to have plus the integral from negative 0.5 to 1 of 7 dx. And so let's see here. We're going to do the following. So remember that the rule will go like this. So obviously we're going to have 2 times the quantity 13 plus the integral from negative 0.5 to 1 of 7 dx. And there is that constant property, guys, that if you have the integral of a constant with respect to x, this is automatically c times x. Okay. And so then we're gonna do, so therefore, if we do this, we have 2 times the quantity 13, and it's gonna be plus, and the integral of 7 dx, guys, is just 7x. This part here is gonna be 7x, but we're gonna have to use the fundamental theorem of calculus for this. And now, remember that the fundamental theorem of calculus I just want to make sure we understand this, is the following. So the integral from a to b of f of x dx is equal to some antiderivative f of x from a to b, which is really the difference between f of b and f of a. So it's really going to be f of b minus f of a. So therefore, we know that it's going to be 2 times 13 plus, and the 7x is actually going to be the following. It is going to be, hold on, guys. It is going to be And actually, let me do it this way. So, it's gonna be 7 times the quantity, and we can actually just do the difference of x from 1 to negative 0.5. So it's going to be times the quantity 1 minus negative 0.5. The reason why this works, guys, is because, like I said, I know I'm over-explaining this, but we want to understand that this is times x, and it's from negative 0.5 to 1. So I'm just kind of making sure we understand that this is really what this is. Okay, guys? That's why I'm doing that 1 minus negative 0.5, because that really was the antiderivative and we're just doing the difference. So, yeah, so then we have 2 times the following, and it's going to be 13 plus, and it's going to be 7 times the quantity 1.5. And then from here, this entire stuff here is gonna give us, and actually, hold on, guys. Give me a second. Hold on, guys. Hold on. Okay, guys, sorry. So yes, it's gonna be 26. So this entire part, let me just kind of calculate it here with a calculator. It is gonna be the following. So, it's gonna be 2 times 13 plus 7 times 1.5. And that is gonna be about 47. I hope that's correct, guys, and I hope that helps. This was very lengthy, so if anybody does have any questions whatsoever, please let me know. And that is going to be it for this video, guys. With that being said, thank you so much for watching, and please like, comment, and or subscribe. And I will see you guys in the next video. Bye, guys.